It has been a minute since I've had the pleasure of sitting down and speaking with one of the fine athletes of Atletico Ottawa, but the wait is over. I'm very excited to be joined by Gianni dos Santos. Johnny, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad at all, thanks. Now, I have to say, this just goes to show how wonderfully Canadian our league is. Last year, you were playing with one of our rivals, Pacific. I don't know if it was coming over to Ottawa and seeing how amazing the atmosphere was, but we were able to bring you over and you signed with Atletico this year. So tell me about the experience of playing with Atletico so far this season.
It's been good. I've been treated very nice since the first day I arrived, and they take very care of you, good care of you here in Ottawa. So I have no complaints. I like it here.
Excellent, excellent. Now, curious, you have the number 7, correct?
Yeah, true.
Was that number special to you? Did it have any sort of significant meaning to you?
No, not really. Last season I played with seven. Uh, I did all right, and I thought, yeah, I'm gonna keep seven. And also, my idol is Cristiano Ronaldo, so that's also a reason.
Excellent. Well, there you go. Not a bad person to have there up
Yeah.
as an idol. That's for sure. Now, of course, this is a very exciting time in the season. We are 6 games removed from the end of the season. There's 6 games remaining, and as they would say, we are in the end game now.
Mhm.
So this season has been kind of a roller coaster for Atletico. It started off didn't start off as strong as the team would have liked. There were a lot of changes in the off season, kind of working out the kinks. But then you guys were going through a spell where things were going really well, and unfortunately, a bit of a stumbling block this past Saturday with Cavalry. Give me your thoughts on this past Saturday's game.
Yeah, from the beginning of the game, even before the game, yeah, you saw a little bit that they came to fight because you saw the lineup, very different players, very different style of playing, and yeah, they came to grab at least a point, and yeah, that's how soccer is. You cannot always win. We wanted to win, of course. We did everything for it, but unfortunately, yeah, we didn't have the 3 points, and yeah, I think we should forget this game very quick. We already forgotten, so we have to look forward, not backwards.
No, absolutely. I'll tell you something. One of the things, and the headlines, if somebody was just to go and look at the headlines, they would say, okay, Cavalry won, but that doesn't tell the story.
Mhm.
It was a very competitive game. In the 61st minute, Cavalry scores. But one of the most impressive things about this Atletico team is there's that never say die attitude. So in the 88th minute, coming off of a corner kick, Luke Singh, my fellow Trinidadian, puts it in, which was beautiful. So and
Yeah,
and what a lot of people also don't know is there was 7 minutes of stoppage time, which is rather high because usually it's like 3 or 4. 7 minutes of stoppage time. They scored in like the 96th minute. So this was an extremely competitive game. I feel that if Ottawa scores first, teams are in trouble, and if the other team scores first, that you guys do not let up. So I want to talk about the tenacity of this team, that never giving up, that never say die attitude, which has just made this team so incredibly enduring to this community. What is it about this team where you actually live up to the mantra of playing the full 90 minutes? Like there's no, okay, well, I guess they scored, so it's done. No, you guys don't have that mentality. You guys go until the final whistle. Where does that come from?
I think because we are all competitors, because in training also, like, if you lose, if we play, for example, a game and you lose, everybody is like fighting till the end. Sometimes we go at each other, but I think that's what makes us how we are right now. Because if you do it in training, you don't stop, and you're gonna take it into the game. And we have all competitors in the team. We all know what we want. We're all on the same page. We all have the same mindset. So I think it's because of that that we just don't give up. We go to the very last end.
No, absolutely, and you definitely see that through these games. I mean, this is an extremely competitive team. Now, again, the thing coming out of this weekend is Ottawa's still in the playoff hunt. The Ottawa's very much in the playoff picture right now. 6 remaining games, and I'm taking a look at it. And again, every team's important. Anybody can win on any given day. But if you look at the schedule, it's pretty favorable to say that if Ottawa does what they need to do, they're gonna end up we're gonna end up in the playoffs. From your position as a player, do you look ahead and think about, okay, who are the teams remaining, or are you just focused on the upcoming game this weekend?
Uh, I think we look. No, I know we look game for game, but every player looks like who we're gonna have like in a couple weeks and this and that. But we have to take it game for game. We don't have to put our minds in the next week. We have to focus on what's here and what now,
Mhm.
what we can control. And because in a couple games we can control how it goes, or we have to control, yeah, this Saturday Vancouver.
Yeah.
That's the only focus we have right now. And after that, we see what the next game is.
Yeah. Now, of course, we are talking here close to the beginning of the week. We are just coming out of Labor Day weekend. Another team that plays at TD Place is the Ottawa Red Blacks, of course, a part of the Canadian Football League. In the Canadian
Hmm.
Football League during Labor Day weekend, there are these set rivalries. Every year, Toronto plays Hamilton. Every year, Edmonton plays Calgary. Those are the set rivalries in the Canadian Football League. When you look at the landscape of the Canadian Premier League, do we have does Atletico Ottawa have a rival? Now, for example, I might have said it might have been Pacific. We've had some great battles with Pacific, especially last year pouring into this year. But after watching that game this past Saturday, maybe you could make an argument that it could be Cavalry. Of course, there was the final last year against Forge. So does Ottawa have a specific rival in the Canadian Premier League?
That's a good question. I don't really know, but I think Forge
Yeah.
because last year they lost the final and we have to set things straight. But I think because it's an Ontario thing, that maybe it's Forge or also York. I don't really know to be honest.
Okay. Okay.
but
What?
but Pacific, what you said,
Yeah.
I think that is it's a tough game too because when they played like last month, you saw things got heated. So you know
Mhm.
maybe Pacific also.
Yeah. There's that old saying, iron sharpens iron. And one of the things I can say is when you look at the top of this table and those the teams that represent the best of the best, if you will, of the Canadian Premier League. And let's be clear, it's a very competitive league. It can shift at any given time. But we are looking at some extremely competitive soccer. I think from a fan's perspective, people who are getting to know this league and starting to say, hey, what's going on at TD Place? Where's all that noise coming from? And they head down. They are seeing some very competitive games. Um, are you like, how do you feel being a part of something, being a part of a league that is so incredibly competitive? Because there are a lot of different options for people in the city to check out from a sports perspective. But I think I've maintained from a dollar for dollar standpoint, fans are getting their money's worth when they come to an Atletico game. Fans are locked in, they're paying attention to what's going on. They're not like, off on the concourse doing other things. So as a player, as a part of this league, like how do you feel about the level of competitiveness in this league?
I think it's good because the more compatible you are, the more you wanna you wanna hunt and do more to create the win for yourself. And I think it's growing also the competitive because if you can see now everybody there's like three teams I think with 32 points. So it's I think it's gonna go to the one of the last like rounds
Mm-hmm.
because nobody is safe yet in the playoffs, how we see, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody is still going at it. But I think the competitive is good because that's gonna get the most or the best out of yourself and the teams.
No, absolutely. I agree. Now let's focus on your next game, which is away. You're heading out
Hmm.
west. We've got Vancouver FC, a team that Atletico's had some success against. How do you feel about the upcoming game with Vancouver?
It's gonna be a tough game. Every game is not easy, so we have to work. And what happened in the past that we won, it's in the past. We have to win this one also to to keep going. So it's not gonna be an easy game.
I love that. I love that mindset because you're absolutely correct. Just because it happened before doesn't mean it can happen again. Hopefully,
Exactly.
it gives you a certain level of confidence, but you never want to sleep on any of these opponents, especially this deep into the season. Now, as somebody who has some familiarity with the West Coast, is this where you guys get off the plane and you kind of say, okay, guys, leave things to me. I know where we're going. I know like a good place to go for dinner. Like, do you become like the de facto tour guide for Atletico Ottawa when you guys head to the West Coast?
When we go to Pacific, yes.
Yeah,
Yes, because I lived there for 2 years. I played there, but we don't have enough time, so we just chill in the hotel, play some games, and just chill. But yes, I tell the guys, yeah, next time we go and we have more time, I'm gonna take you guys there. It's a good place, this and that.
I love that. I love that. Now, of course, the next home game here would be on the 13th of September against Pacific FC, your old team.
Yeah,
For people who are watching this, I always say there are two types of people who watch these interviews: people who've gone to Atletico games before, and people who haven't. The people who've gone before don't need to be sold as to why to go back. Like I said, I think it's the best ticket in town. For those who
yeah.
haven't gone, what would you say to somebody who's never gone to an Atletico game before?
To be honest, you can't tell much. You just have to come, and you're gonna tell us that it's an incredible because last year when I came, yes, of course, the supporters were screaming at me, naming me all kind of things, and I was like, "Wow, this is definitely the best fans in the league that I played in front." So I think for the people who didn't come to the game yet, you should definitely come, and it's gonna surprise you.
No.
It's gonna surprise you.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, listen, I want to be respectful of your time. I want to drift into a little fun thing we call rapid fire. I know this is the segment, G, that you've been waiting for. So it's here now. I'm going to ask you some questions. We're going to keep this fun. We're going to keep this light. First thing that comes
No
to
problem.
mind, let me know. Now, the first question of rapid fire is always,
Mhm.
what is your favorite movie of all time? And if you can't give me one, I'll take a top three.
Or Denzel Washington, American Gangster.
Nice. Very nice. You
Yeah,
can't go wrong with Denzel. I just saw Equalizer
no,
3. He's the
yes.
man. He is the man.
I went last Friday with Ollie.
Oh,
It
nice.
came out and we went straight away.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm curious. You and Ollie Bassett hanging out. Are you guys like do you guys have to put on like a hat and sunglasses, or does your security keep people away? How does that work? You two superstars. I'm just curious here.
Ollie is the boss in Ottawa. I'm just at the back a little bit shy.
Okay. All right. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Moving on. Okay. You mentioned at the top, Ronaldo is your guy, and I got to tell you, I know the Ronaldo Messi debate has gone on and on.
Mhm,
I'm with you on Ronaldo. That could be an entire conversation on its own. Your next goal, very
mhm.
well could come this weekend. Are you going to go and do the big Ronaldo celebration? Are we going to go and are we going to see that?
If I score, I promise I will.
Amazing, amazing. Everybody tune in because there's a very high probability that he will score. Okay.
Inshallah.
Now coming to Ottawa. Okay, you've lived in, two of the best cities that this country has to offer. You were in Vancouver before, I believe. Now here in Ottawa.
Victoria, yes.
Victoria, sorry, Victoria. So
Yeah.
two of the coolest parts of the country. I'll remix and say, what is one of the things that when you moved to Ottawa that surprised you?
It's more cultured here.
Sorry,
It's
say
more
that one more
cultured.
time.
It's more cultured. You have
Okay.
more people from different countries, and
Okay.
Victoria, sorry, because Victoria, you have a lot of Canadians. You don't see different races over there,
No, fair.
so that's the biggest thing I think. And the food,
Yeah.
the food in Ottawa, it's amazing.
Do you have like any do you have any favorite spots?
Here in
Yeah.
Ottawa,
Yeah.
yeah, you know Jerky's chicken.
Yeah, of course.
I like oxtail. Since I came here, I've been eating oxtail every week. Jamaican food, patties.
Okay. Listen, now that we're tight, I'm gonna put an arm around your shoulder as the big brother. I'm gonna take you out for
Okay,
some roti, get you some good
good.
Trinidadian food. We'll bring Malcolm and Luke and anyone else who wants to come, and then you'll understand what true Caribbean food is. I'm just saying, Jamaican patty. That's a nice appetizer, but let's get you a good meal, you know? All right.
I know because Luke every weekend when Luke's mom comes, she always says I have to come to Toronto. She's gonna make me some nice food from Trinidad, so I have to try it.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you absolutely do. You absolutely must. Um, I want to end with this. One of the wonderful
Mm-hmm.
things that Atletico does that I think any fan is super proud of is the outreach with the community. And I mean, we see it in so many different
Mm-hmm.
aspects of what Atletico does. So I said there are different people that watch this. I talked about the people who've come to the game, the people who haven't. But let's also look at the younger generation of emerging soccer talent that's there. What would you say, Mr. Number Seven, Mr. Striker, Mr. Getting It Done on the field? What sort of advice would you give to somebody who looks to aspire to where you are in your career, who wants to be able to play this game professionally? What sort of advice would you give to them?
I think in this, I think for me, when you are younger, it's about enjoying the game. Enjoy it as much as you can because when you get older, it's gonna get more serious, and also it's gonna be your job. So you have to find the balance between enjoyment and working hard, but it's also talent is not enough anymore. So you have to work hard. You have to do something that you don't want to do, and that's gonna make you better than everybody else. So I think that's the biggest thing that you have to do. You have to work because your biggest competition is yourself. That's what I go by. So if that can help the kids or whoever is watching this, they have to figure out how how hard you can go or how hard you're willing to go for whatever you want. And that's with everything in life, not only soccer. So for me, that's it.
Oh, I appreciate that. And I appreciate the time so much. Of course,
No, it's okay.
yeah, Atletico is in Vancouver this coming weekend. So you can catch them on One Soccer. You can catch them on Fubo TV. And they will be back in Ottawa on the 13th of September, one of two remaining home games of the regular season, because fully expect
Mhm.
us to have a playoff home game on the 13th of September against Pacific FC. There's a whole lot of West Coast stuff going on with this team right now. So thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it, and all the best this coming weekend.
No problem. Thank you for your time as well.